welcome to Movies, Films, and Flicks. I am Mark Hoffmeyer, and joining me is a man who I'm going to introduce in 5, 4, 3. It's Norbert Morvan.
We ain't no nincompoop, Hoffmeyer.
Why do you always move so slow?
Well, ding!
Why do you always talk so fast? Why do you always talk so much? Who's the
This is
MVP
the
of this
problem.
movie? Norbert, I'm putting you on the spot immediately. Who's the MVP of The Harder They Fall?
Look, just off of GP, the man Idris Elba. But secretly, ladies and gentlemen, your friend and mine, his name is Michael Beach.
Oh,
Daddy, Priest Love.
Deep Blue
Daddy
Sea
love.
2. Deep Blue Sea 2's Michael Beach.
That's it.
Oh man, whenever I see him now, he has been in so many films, good films. And I'm like, that's Deep Blue Sea 2's Michael Beach, who plays a billionaire who wants to stop an AI apocalypse from happening by creating smart sharks and using their brains to create a limitless juice, which makes him smarter. You know who my MVP of this movie is? It's two
Who's
people,
that?
and we'll try to. Okay, I got two of them. It's gonna be either, it could be three of them. It could be Cuffy,
Cuffy.
played by
Cuffy's
Danielle
dope.
Deadweiler, or
100%.
Cherokee Bill, Lakeith Stanfield, because I love, what I like too is like, she just, Cuffy's great with the scene at the bank. You put the red dress, the bar scene. She's just an absolute boss. And I like when the gunfights
100%.
happen, Cuffy is scared. Like Cuffy's murdering people, but Cuffy's always like, geez Louise. But I guess what I like about Cherokee Bill is that he's just tired, man. Like he's in Wild
He's
West.
such a nihilist.
In Wild West years, he's 80. So he's sitting there dealing with all these young gunslingers, and he's dealing with all these kind of like cocksure kids who want to count down from 5, 4, 3, and they want to be gunmen. And he's just, like what Jim Beckworth. He just and then like Bill Pickett, like he just knows these guys, and then he just kills them. Like he doesn't want to.
The dead look in the eyes of Cherokee.
Yeah.
He's killed so many people, and he speaks the Cherokee language,
Mm-hmm.
and he knows that look. Yeah, I'm the fastest gun in the West, and actually, quiet as it's kept, I just murder people. I don't wait for the countdown. I will shoot you in the back.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's either you're dead or you're not, and that's the way that this goes because it's the Wild Wild West. And then Cuffy, based on Cathay Williams. She was born in Missouri in 1844. The most important thing about this movie is that right after the Netflix logo, you get that, hey, these people existed. Because you don't see a lot of black people. Yes, exactly. You don't see a lot of black people in the Wild Wild West. But there they were, man. And so Cuffy was a boss.
Beast.
She might look nervous. In her little scenes, but like you said,
Killer.
she holds it down.
Dude.
Because she was the first. She was the only woman to serve in the U.S. Army as a Buffalo soldier.
Mm.
She was out there putting in the work. She was a murderer. She could get busy with the handguns, and she did. She knew what she was doing, and it's so hilarious, like you say, when she's in the bank. And I didn't come to make that kind of withdrawal. I came to, and she's fumbling for the gun because goddamn dress. I don't wear these type of clothes. And then, oh yeah, I'm a boss because here's a little Derringer, and you're about to get it. Give me the money. Woo!
Oh man,
Beautiful.
I gotta say, when they sauntered into White Town, I think the first thing I said was stupid, like, cause it's such a funny gag, like just a white town, like in a good way.
White.
Like it's in a good way though. It's like. It's not like stupid dumb. It's not stupid bad idea. It just put a big smile on my face and like
Right.
And it's not stupid at all. It's funny, but I just remember seeing that. That was like my first react. I think I had the biggest smile on my face. I was just like, come on. Like,
Maysville is a white town.
Yeah.
And the only color I saw in that whole town was one green door. The rest of it was white. The sand, the dirt was white. And the town that they live in, Redwood, It's colorful as hell.
Yeah, blue, yellow, red, black, and green. A lot, like the main colors.
Right. Every building has a different color, man, and it's super clean, you know? The one thing about Wild Wild West movies or West, I got to stop saying Wild Wild West, that damn Will Smith movie.
Wild Wild West, Jim West, Desperado, Rough Rider. No, you don't want none of this. Six gun.
Why did you do that to that song? Oh,
6 gun weighing a ton.
Stop it!
We're going straight to the Wild Wild West.
You know what? I'm Norbert Morvan. This podcast is over.
I'm just gonna talk for the next half hour by myself.
But the thing that
Kevin Kline, Will Smith, Kenneth Branagh, Spider Legs.
Dude, Kenneth Branagh was awesome in that movie. I'm sorry. Anyway, so the thing in westerns is that these places are impossibly clean. That's the thing that always strikes me about westerns, and that's why one of the reasons why I love watching Deadwood, because that place is filthy, bro. That place is gross, and that's how it's supposed to look, man. You don't have sewage. Everybody is pooping into what they generously call chamber pots, which are basically just large bowls, and throwing it in the back of the street. And horses, nobody's cleaning up horse poop.
No. The opening of Deadwood is Swearinger just trying to pee into a bucket, right?
Just trying to pee.
But he has stones, is that what it is?
Oh, eventually, yeah. And so you see the cleanliness of Redwood where they live, and then you get to Maysville, and it's even cleaner. It's blindingly white, bro. Hilarious.
It's such a out there visual gag that you have to laugh. And you know what's really interesting for me with this movie is, you know, James Samuel, he's been wanting to make this movie for 15 years. Him and Idris Elba were talking about this 15 years ago. He would sit down with Edie Gathegi. I butchered that pronunciation, and I looked it up before. My apologies. I'm so sorry. I hate when people say that. I feel like a terrible podcaster, but I did look it up. Now my mind's gone completely blank. But they talked about it. They blocked off scenes. This has been in this guy's brain for 15 years, this film. And it's awesome that he was, he made a short, and then he came and made this, and then he got a big budget. I'm sorry, like $70 million to come make this movie. And you know what I like too is what I had to kind of wrap my head around at first, because everything, if you go back and look at it, the outfits, the costumes, the locations are all clean. They're very sometimes there's a gun, like people rode through the desert all day and their outfits are perfect, but that's a conscious choice. Like he didn't want to do an Unforgiven, right? He didn't want to do a Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Like he wanted to make it super clean, and super clean looking. And this is really neat. I found this really great article on American Cinematographer, and the cinematographer Malamare Jr. And production designer Martin Wiss, they talked about making it. And what's really cool about this, they based the look of this movie off of Kadir Nelson's art. And I looked him up. And if you just type in Kadir Nelson right now, Norbert, into whatever you have, you'll see the look of the visual palette, and you'll be like, oh, that's this movie. So they really nailed his visual palette. But what I really like is he wanted to go like light, vitality, clarity, mood, and color. That's what he was really going for. And so what I like in Redwood City, when they come into the town at night, this isn't one of those dusty cities where there's one light, you don't know what's going on in the town. The cinematographer was joking that this is the most light that he's ever used in his life, making this town look vibrant and alive and safe and colorful and beautiful. So, I mean, James didn't want this to look like other Westerns. He didn't want it to look like Open Range, He didn't want it to look like Bone Tomahawk. He didn't want to make it look like Silverado. I could name a ton of Westerns. But I like that. It's a very bright, colorful palette. And for me, I teach production design, and I really love that he had an artist in mind that he loves, and he just gave it to his crew, and they made it happen. Because the guy does use a lot of blue, yellow, reds, black, greens. You see the color palette. As soon as you type that into Google, you see the color palette of this movie. Yes. And I really embraced that about him. Like, he had a clear vision, and he put together just a beast mode cast, man. This cast is amazing. And this is a first-time director. He's been around for a long time. But, I mean, people trusted him, and you could tell. And I think every single one of these actors just enjoyed looking cool in 100%, certain shots.
100%. If this movie was terrible, the cast is still enough for you to just watch the whole 2 hours and 15 minutes. And it just so happens that, oh, by the way, the dialogue is cracking. There are some shots that are incredible. You know, when they finally do the duel at the end, spoiler alert, and unfortunately the young man gets killed. That shot from overhead where not only are they facing each other, but their shadows are facing each
Mm-hmm.
other and the
Yeah.
gun is pointing. You can see, just like you said, he has had these shots,
Yes.
these specific shots in his brain for years. It's like when I make a song, you know, sometimes you'll take a shower and an entire song will just present itself. But then you'll make a cup of coffee and then it's gone. But it comes back and it keeps coming back and it keeps coming back. And eventually you sequence it, you get the notes out there, you put it together. Mwah. It's a labor of love. This is why you do these things. And this movie is just beautiful.
No, you're absolutely right that this movie's been in his brain for 15 years, because if you think about other directors who made their jump up to feature film directing, so I'm not talking about directors who made shorts, like I'm talking about first-time feature directors. And don't laugh, but I mean, if you think about movies like Garden State, Zach Braff built that movie around images in his head. Right. That movie he saw images in his brain, and he wrote the movie around that. Lake Bell made a movie called In a World, and that you can tell that's really based around conversations and speeches. You know, like, this melon represents my love, and you're like, oh man, this is definitely like a first-time script from like a first-time director. It's a good movie, but you can tell. It's like with this movie, you could tell that he had so many ideas, because like Idris will sit down. Have you heard Napoleon? Cherokee Bill will sit down, do a speech. Regina King sits down with her New Orleans accent that she put together, and she tells a story about, Trudy Smith tells a story about her sister. Like everyone's like you know, Nat sits down, has a story. Like everyone sort of has a monologue in their brains, but then also the shots that they have, you know, that those have been in his brain for the longest time. The scene where Lakeith Stanfield, Cherokee Bill's on the train and they all put up the guns behind him, bro. Like,
yes,
that's been in his head for years, and they were blocking shots. Like, this is a movie based around moments and speeches, and then the rest of it's kind of filler. Not filler, none of it's filler, but you know what I mean. He had the outline, but the outline, I think, was like speeches and moments that were in his brain, and I have that too. Like, I've written things that just are based around one idea in my head, and you got to form it around that. And so I remember when I first watched it, like, you know what I love about this movie? It makes me so happy because, you know, like, whenever there's a speech, I kind of smile because I'm like, oh yeah, another speech. And then whenever there is,
monologues are dope.
But
monologues are dope.
And then whenever there's a shot where there's just, you know, there's 8 of Idris's gang. I gotta think of his last name. Why am I? The Buck gang. But like 8 go in, so that when they show them later, he's in the middle and there's 4 on each side. Like but then they just cut on each person's face. It's just poof, then poof. Like, there's so many shots of Zazie Beetz' face and eyes. But like, if you love westerns though, like James Samuel does, you love it because, listen, it's a new take, but it also like it really does have a lot of elements of westerns we love. So, or I really like. So you see shots and you just smile. You're like, oh, good, the bad, and the ugly. Or you see that shot and you're like, oh, that's from this. But then it doesn't feel like like he's ripping off anything.
No. It's pure homage. It's pure homage.
And he straight up
because
said,
this story's very cool.
Oh, he said too, like, John Ford didn't have drones. He's like, I have drones. I'm gonna use drones. And you know, when on that shot, when they go up to Jonathan Majors on his horse, that's like the drone shot. So it's just kind of cool. He said that I wanted to make a western but with today's toys. And he also said that he wanted to make a western that he didn't want to make any of these people subservient. He's like, you watch a movie, like I just did a podcast about Brotherhood of the Wolf, an episode, not a podcast. I just did an episode about Brotherhood of the Wolf. And to explain why Mark Dacascos is there, he's like, oh, well, he's my guy. And then like he comes with because I saved his life. You know, like that's why he explains he's there. Like Samuel didn't want anybody to be subservient in this movie. He didn't want anybody to just not have power. Like he wanted his women to have power. And you know what's cool too? I was looking through the awards, and like the women, like there's the Women's Film Circle Critics Award. They gave they nominated it for best equality of the sexes, which you know, like kind of makes me happy because he just got some badasses in here.
Oh
But
yeah. Oh yeah.
I like that he didn't want to make somebody subservient. He didn't want a woman tied to, like, this sounds bad, but like a lot of times in westerns you have a woman with a kid and the kid gets kidnapped and then John Wayne's got to save her, or they're
Right.
tied to
Right.
something. Like
Right.
he didn't want that. He just wanted people who were bosses going around looking
Right.
awesome. And that's fun. Like it's a nice spin on the western, but he also still loves westerns, but he also kind of dislikes westerns, which is interesting because I listened to a bunch of interviews with him, and even the cast, and they're all kind of annoyed. They're like, why is there no, like, he's like, there could have been black people in open range. Like, they just don't have them. Like, he's like, the West wasn't all white. And so he's just trying to kind of rewrite some history, by including real names, fictional story, real names, to get people researching. And, I researched. I didn't know about these people. Like, they didn't teach us.
Oh yeah.
They didn't teach us to me in Hudson High School. So
Well, that's the way it is.
I kind of had a great time learning about these characters, learning about his style, learning about his music. It's just kind of an exciting voice around. So yeah, I mean, this is cool. And I mean, like,
It's a brilliant thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go for it. Go for it.
Yeah, what you say is absolutely correct. A lot of people didn't know these people were real. Oh my God, what are they doing? These people didn't really do that. Hey, breaking news. Those people that showed up in Deadwood, that's not exactly how they were either. You know, that's another form of historical fiction revisionism. Young Guns. That's not the way that Billy the Kid and those guys were, man. You know what I mean? The Wild Bill movies. There are 48,000 Wild Bill movies. The one with Jeff Bridges is the most surreal of those Wild Bill movies. And that's not exactly how that went down. So it would be a poor excuse to say, well, that's not what it was like.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly.
It's the same argument for that's not how Batman looks in the comic book. Wolverine wears a yellow and black costume. Shut up. Watch the movie. And then go and look these people up. It's fascinating to read about what actually those people were doing in Deadwood, the actual history of Billy the Kid. And then when you come to find out that Rufus Buck Gang, they were crazy.
Yeah.
That was a crazy ass gang. Then you come to find out Bass Reeves. Hello, Bass Reeves is a legendary lawman of the West. He's one of those people who was one of the first guys to actually go around chasing bad guys. He's played by Delroy Lindo in this movie. And he was the inspiration for the Lone Ranger and a bunch of other cowboy types that you know today. So these people did exist. These people were kicking ass. Bass Reeves was 6'2", knew how to handle the guns from his Civil War days. He knew the land, knew the languages. He became the first black deputy U.S. Marshal west of the Mississippi. Ladies and gentlemen, Black History Month is not February. It's not only February. It's every day, baby. It's every day. It's not just Black history. It's American history. I'm Norbert Morvan.
I mean, yeah, it is American history. Yeah, but like, let's keep it in 1 month.
Yeah.
Watch it, Norbert. Stagecoach Mary, though, I mean, she worked for the USPS. And you know what's crazy about the Buck Gang too is they only had he was only a leader for a year.
Right.
Like, you weren't living long out there, man. You had
No.
Sundance and Butch Cassidy and Sundance. Like, who are these guys? You had people after you, man. Like, you didn't live long in this world. That's why Billy the Kid. You gotta get started young. But it's
Get started young. He's a murderer. It's the truth. You wake up in this world. Imagine waking up in what they call the Wild Wild West. I gave it back to you. There's another one. Imagine
Jim
waking
West,
up
Desperado, Rough Rider. No, you don't want none of this. 6-gun weighing a ton of this.
Real. We know it's great. Damn it. That's in my.
The Wild Wild West. She's got dumped like a truck.
You wake up in this world. No running water. There's poop everywhere and pee. That place has to smell. All of those places had to smell. Okay. We learn about dysentery and cholera from the Oregon Trail. These people are watching it go down. Those are poop diseases, man. Tuberculosis. Oh, you're. People are just catching that, just coughing in your face, like whatever. Oh, hello, doctor. And then you realize, wait a minute, this is it? Yeah, I'm gonna go be a psycho murderer because why not? When you're 40 in the Wild West, that's like the equivalent of 87 today, right? So Billy the Kid and these young guys, it's not that they don't necessarily see hope for a future. Your life is really short out here,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Just
A
let
lot
it
of old
ride.
people walking. Yeah, not a lot of old people walking around. I'm gonna be a psycho.
Mm-hmm.
So you get these types of dudes. You get these Billy the Kids and the Buck Gang, you know? Whew, a lot of mercy.
I mean, think
A
about it.
lot of mercy.
You got the landowners who have their posses, and then you have the bandits out there because it was still wide, it was a wide open expanse. You had
Right.
justifiably pissed off Native Americans. I'm sorry to laugh.
Yes.
So I laugh when I get like I'm not laughing because it's funny.
No,
I think I
nobody,
get nervous laughter.
nobody thinks you're a
Yeah.
sociopath, man.
But
Continue.
like you
Good.
have all the outward expansion, westward expansion after the Civil War. People looking to forge their own land, isolated areas. I mean, there's so much murder going on out there, and that's
So,
justifiable. I mean, people. It wasn't like aliens blowing each other up. It wasn't like cowboys and aliens. But I mean, it was
right.
a violent place where people had to watch their backs. Like it's a dangerous territory. So I mean, uh,
And you know what, Mark? With that in mind, everybody's trying to kill you. Everybody's trying to rob you. There's a horse on the track. You're carrying a super fugitive, the Hannibal Lecter of his time. Do you stop that
no,
train?
no,
You
that
just run over, bro. You got a cow catcher on the front, for God's sake. It's called a cow catcher. This is a horse. A horse, in theory, is lighter than a cow.
yeah.
You don't stop that train, do you?
It did have a cowcatcher on it, and
Yeah.
that was the one scene where I was kind of hoping that there would be. I mean, of course you can't have the speech by Cherokee Bill, and then you can't have
Right.
the speech by Buck, and then you can't have the Union soldiers getting killed. But
Right.
yeah, that's the one. Like that's when you know that that was an image in his head 12 years
Right.
ago,
Right.
and so
Right.
as opposed to just being like this dude has Hannibal Lecter on his
Yeah.
train. He's leader of the Buck gang. You
The Buck Gang.
bro, if I have Capone on my train and I'm a murderous northern general, I'm hitting everybody on that
We
track.
ain't stopping for
Bro,
nada. No bathroom breaks, kids. You pee when we get there.
yeah, you pull me over, we're not, like the only way you're getting to me is if you get on this train and you come at me. Like you're not me and my murderous guys, we're not gonna stop our
No,
train for
we're not
anybody.
stopping. But then again, that's one of those things where it's a movie. I'll
Yeah.
deal with it. And then you get the beautiful C.A. Bozeman shot on the side of that train, and I was just
Yeah. Oh, that hit.
right in the feels, bro. Right in the
Hmm.
feels, because if he was alive, he would have been in that movie. He would have absolutely been in that movie if he was alive. Then you get the "We Ain't No Nincompoop."
Yeah.
And then if they call us anything that even starts with the letter N, they're going to get the same. And I was like, yeah. Because this movie is not about the N word. It's not about slavery. It's not about we for 400 years been separating the white man. No, this is not that movie.
Mm-mm.
Movie is bad guys versus the good guys.
Yep.
That's it.
Dude, it's
We are
revenge.
not-
It's a western.
it's
It's revenge.
it's just a western, okay? So whatever you put on this movie, that's on you,
Yeah.
because that's not the movie you're watching here.
You're
That's
projecting.
not the movie you're watching. You need to take a long look in the mirror, buddy, because this movie is just about revenge, and quite possibly the most elaborate revenge plan history has ever created,
Yeah, don't get me started.
except for when Bane wanted to make the citizens of Gotham suffer for 6 months before destroying them all in a nuclear explosion. Like, what other revenge plan is as elaborate as what Rufus Buck has created? My
Mhm.
father beat fire out me on a regular basis, beat the hell out of my mom, then one day left, and then he gonna show up as a priest and make another kid and just have a wife like I don't even exist? Oh, hell no. Hell no. Number one, shoot new wife. Number two, shoot old father. Number three, scar new brother. Number four, act like that never happened. And put the mark on his head to identify him later in the future in case you happen to be too drunk at the club
Oh man.
when this dude comes to smoke you.
Oh.
elaborate. Then the thing that made this really hit you, spoiler alert, folks, he gets in the face of his brother and he says, you're about to surpass me as a type of badass because I couldn't kill my brother, but here you are about to kill yours. Mic drop.
Mm-hmm.
That hits you in the stomach, man. I was like, wow, because he has been a piece of shit the whole movie. He's not a good person.
Mm-mm. Hannibal Lecter.
He's a monster. And then that comes up and you're just, are we the baddies? I feel bad for this dude. I was like, wow. It's brilliant.
I mean, here's the thing with any vigilante, and the Nat Love, they are vigilantes because they do rob people who have robbed, but they go out of their way to steal from the people who stole, and then people end up dead. So you're still going out of your way to kill people.
Right, a gang of Omars. It's a gang of Omars. Yeah. The Nat Love gang is a gang of Omars.
Yeah, and so like you're still looking for violence. You still are killing people. And so, yeah, let me ask you one question though. I mean, I wouldn't change a thing about this movie, but there's a lot of plot. And I mean, so they got to go steal from the Crimson Hoods who work for the Buck gang. And then Buck gets out because of a pardon so they can kill some terrible northern soldiers who killed an entire village, and they're kind of a black mark on the United States government. But then they go back to their town, and then there's the sheriff there, but then they kick the sheriff out. And then I got a good story about that later. I don't want to. I go on too many tangents. I'm going to stay on this thing. But then
let the pills work.
But then Stagecoach Mary comes into town, which is a terrible idea.
Terrible.
They keep her, they imprison her, so then Nat Love comes into town with this crew, and then he gets imprisoned. And then they're like, okay, we'll let you go with $10,000 extra if you go rob a bank from Whitetown. So then they go rob a bank from Whitetown. But then they go back into the town, and then they're like, hey, we got all this money, we're going to make it explode, though, and then it explodes. And then you learn that Idris is Jonathan Major's brother. Like, there's a lot of plot. So, I mean, I guess, too, I mean, he didn't want it to be like any other Western, so maybe that's why he added so much plot. But, I mean, if you think about some of these films where, Unforgiven, he wants to,
right.
Like, a good man who used to commit violence has to commit violence because they hurt his friend. Right. You have movies like, Tombstone building to the OK Corral. Like, it seems very, you could take a nap and wake up and know where this movie, so many Westerns are, right? But would you have liked to see a streamlined version of this, or do you think it's better with the speeches and the kind of, the flair that it has? Like, is that, do you know what I mean? Like, do you want like a grittier version of this? Do you like
I know exactly what you're saying. I know exactly what you're saying. When you mention Unforgiven, he gets hired because some ladies of the night are tired of getting beat up. And so in the course of defending the ladies of the night, Hackman decides, well, Morgan Freeman's your friend, isn't he? Well, gonna pop him. Gonna pop him.
And then they put him in that coffin.
Yeah. Gonna get rid of that guy. And that's when Clint Eastwood becomes the man with no name too, Electric Boogaloo. So yeah, meandering plot is not a thing that our brother Samuel here has just created on his own. The better ones do.
I mean, think about the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? Like that. Right. There's a lot of layers to that.
That movie's not short.
Yeah. Once Upon a Time in the West.
Yeah, these are not short movies. No. The good, the bad, and the weird.
Yeah, beautiful film.
They go all over the place. And so 3:10 to Yuma even, that one seems pretty simple at first, and then it's not, because it's not just the characterization and the speeches. These things are very event driven, Something happened, bro. Yeah, you do want to murder this guy and you will kill everyone to get to him, but I mean, he shot your mom in front of you, man, at the dinner table.
Yeah.
They were about to have some dope chicken and biscuits. They weren't even going to eat vegetables. There's a bunch of vegetables.
They had a great spread, man. Great spread.
Yeah. Bunch of vegetables over in the corner. They're not on the table. Because we ain't about salad right now. We about to murder this chicken. We about to get in these biscuits. It's about to go down. And you shot my mom in front of me. So yeah, it starts from point A, and instead of going to point B, there's A point 1, A point C, C point 2, D squared, and it's going all over the place until you finally get to B. I love it. I love it. And you gotta give actors of this caliber. There's not a bad actor in the bunch. These are all decades old character actors. Give them the monologue. Give them that time to just have the camera zoom in and give them that haunted look in the eyes. Peeling that apple. Dude, why is Mary peeling that apple? Because I eat apples straight up. I'll eat the whole thing. I might even eat the seeds, bro. I love apples. Okay? But she's peeling this apple and giving the story about her killing Hope because Hope must die. That's dope. Yeah, you want to see those moments.
She got beat up too from her dad.
Oh yeah. She took a loss. She's been taking losses all her life.
Do you think her dad saw that and just went, whoops?
Yo, her dad came home. You didn't stick up for your sister. Okay, Trudy? So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to beat the hell out of you. Trudy was like, note to self. Protect sister. She went, killed Hope. That's what you meant, right, Daddy? Yeah. Nope. You go to grandma's house. You're a little too crazy, ain't you? You're a little too crazy. But she's giving that story, and the camera's zooming in on her, cutting to that apple. She's just peeling the apple. Do you peel apples?
No.
That's
a movie thing, man. Like
it is, right?
Everyone has knives and apples in movies. You always, for some reason, villains always have a knife and an apple.
Right. And they don't use a knife to peel an orange, bro. They use their fingers. That's the hilarious thing.
I watched a movie called The Forgiven last night where a guy busts out a knife first and then he puts out an apple second. Just to mess with you.
Once the knife and the apple comes out, okay, so we're getting a monologue now, right?
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's pure intimidation tactics, son. Why are we peeling apples? Because I got something to say.
Yeah.
Remember yesterday? I told you to wash your room, didn't I? But you ain't do it. They didn't even eat the apple.
That's a sign of a monologue. Like if you're a prisoner, it's good news and bad news. Cause you're like, well, I'm not gonna get stabbed now, but I do have to listen to another monologue. At least you only brought one apple today, so that's great. You know what?
I'm not gonna eat the apple.
You know what? Two scenes made me very happy, or two moments that made me very happy, is when Delroy Lindo is just walking up the street, one-shotting about 17. Yes. You know, the henchmen at the end of this fight remind me of the whack-a-mole game. Or, you know when in movies where they show like training procedures for cops and they're just running and different things pop up in front of them and they have to shoot them.
Right.
Like that's what these guys were coming out of everywhere. And you never see that many.
Stormtroopers,
you never see that many henchmen. But it's fun. Like you got to have people to kill. But when Delroy Lindo is just one-shotting people, I was just like, get it, Delroy. Because, you know, the Five Bloods, I do think he should have been nominated for an Oscar.
He had to get something for that.
Like Congo, like when he's talking about sesame cake, broke my heart. Yeah, so to see him do that, and then listen, I've been like a fan of Kid Cudi's for a long time, and you know, just he went through some things the last few years, like his depression, and I think that's why I've really related to him because I'm emo, I'm like wildly emo, and so like hearing his Day and Night and like Pursuit of Happiness and like Simple As, and then I didn't know his song was on this soundtrack, so like. When he kicks up with his song and then Jay-Z's on it and you're just going, you're like, what is happening?
Mind is blown.
And then they sent me the Netflix. They sent me a flask, which I just showed you.
Such a badass flask.
Yeah. While the events of this story are fictional, these people exist. It's a good flask.
Exist. Period.
And then they also sent me, the CD single of Guns Go Bangs. I just had that in my truck for probably like a year. I didn't even take it out.
What? Yeah. And you're in Florida, just my guns go bang. Family in the background, everybody got shades on because we're in Florida, like riding dirty on 95.
And I'm part of the Georgia Film Critics Association. And I pushed hard to like get this song winning, but I think Billie Eilish just like won everything this year for her Bond song. But like, did you guys not listen to that? But yeah, for the Georgia Film Critics, we got the score and the song nominated. For best. So at least, and it's on Wikipedia, so at least it'll always have that next to its awards that got what we added to its nominations, which makes me happy. But that just made me so happy just hearing Kid Cudi with Jay-Z on this huge movie. Just made me happy because like, you know, he's kind of crushing it right now. So, man, I saw him in Need for Speed, like with Rami Malek and Aaron Paul and Imogen Poots. I'm like, hell yeah. So,
Imogen
dude, she's
gets
a beast.
busy.
She's the beast.
She gets busy.
She's really good in that show with Josh Brolin that came out recently, Outer Range. She's good in it. Different character. Green Room,
Nice.
Classic. But yeah, no, I mean, this movie, I'm telling you, the more you watch it, the shorter it seems. Like, does not feel like a 2-hour, 19-minute movie because it just keeps moving, and I think it keeps with the cinematography too. It keeps finding ways to put a smile on my face. So there are moments when they come back with the cash, and like when you look at it, it's really not all that much, and they're looking down at it. There's just so many the shots with the shadows, like you said, the shot on the train. You just sit there kind of watching it and smiling. And I never liked the train when they stop the train, though. I've never liked that scene. But it's a movie. I get it. It's cool. It looks a good shot.
So the movie can happen, brother.
Yeah.
So the movie can happen.
But I mean, if you you know what's interesting? If you complain about that scene, like, well, a train would never stop, your life is going to be impossible because every single movie you ever watch now, you will find 47 different complaints that are the exact same as that. You know, like Thor would never go see Zeus. You know, like you're just like, but yeah, it's just it flies by. There's some really good lines, like, you know, like.
Well, another brother we got to mention, Wiley Esco, his mouth full of gold teeth.
Oh man.
First, how much money is that in those old timey days? The mouth full of gold teeth. What do you think? How much is that?
All right. So what was inflation? What
Right. Carry the 1. Right. Multiply by 7.
Let's say
good $20-$30. Hardcore.
I'd say easy over 100.
Dude, he gun butts 2 teeth out of his mouth. Okay, that man's not supposed to be conscious.
Yeah.
But the best thing about Wiley Esco is when he's in his office and you think you gonna come with what's mine?
I'm a man.
And he gives the hardcore monologue, and then you hear, oh, he was practicing. Everybody thought it was real because just before that, you see the Buck Gang arrive in town, and Idris is ready to handle his BI, and then it cuts to Wiley Esco giving that speech, and actually he was just while I'm eating my steak. Oh God, and that steak first. Oh God, what a delicious looking steak. But yes, Wiley Esco turned him in, took over the town, and he was low key robbing everybody, but town seemed cool.
Yeah,
town seemed cool with it. You know,
people seem happy.
Cool with it. Yeah, Wiley Esco. Yeah, you know, kids outside playing. You know, there's enough kids outside watching the gun butting that, hey, come here, get some gold. Now you're rich. Ha 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 ha. You know, so everything seems okay in that town. And Idris Elba's like, okay, now we need $15,000 from all of you. And what? We in the old timey days, bro. What do you mean?
You will get murdered, and if you don't too, like,
you're an enemy of progress.
If you and I ever get sucked into movies, Norbert, let's never be the guy. Remember in Chronicles of Riddick where that one dude calls out the Lord Marshal and he gets his soul sucked? And then there's the guy in this movie who calls out Buck and gets killed. Let's just keep our mouths shut. So he's like, I need 15,000. You and I just nod our heads. Yes. 15.
Got it. Let me see. I got 250 right here.
I got 75 cents right here. I'll go back to my house. I'll go pawn some stuff.
You know what I'm saying? Because Lakeith, man, Cherokee, he comes up straight up. He asked the Great Spirit, why is there always a hero?
Yeah.
Why? And that dude, it comes back. Yeah, don't be the hero, bro. Shut up.
Don't be the hero.
He's been to jail before. Whatever, bro. He's the cat on Twitter. LOLs. He thinks he can come in and change things. Ha ha ha. You're funny. Murder. R.I.P. John. Rest in peace.
Oh yeah, it's you and I sit there and nod, and then and if anybody asks if they can drive the train, you should be like, we need 2 people. The only 2 people here are Mark and I. Why do you need 2?
I, yeah.
Like, well, we need coal. We need to shift, like just in case a thing breaks in the background. Okay.
Right.
And then we jump out.
Right. And sometimes my left hand gets a little shaky because I was in the war, you know. I had to shoot the people, you know. So sometimes Mark is there. He'll calm me down. And Mark is the only person that can pull the whistle is Mark. You see, the only person that can pull the whistle is Mark. But I got to drive.
Yeah.
You know, I got to drive.
It's like
people were not
He's R2D2 to my Luke Skywalker.
Seriously. Because once you see, let the boy go. Bang! Ah! What happened? He shot the boy. Bang! Ah! What happened? He shot the boy again. These are not the people to play games with. They don't suffer fools gladly. They shot the boy.
Dude, read the room. What you see this group coming in. You know, if Cherokee Bill ever came across me in a bar, I would pull a John Wick, Kevin Nash, and just like, I'm like, you working again, John? Yes. All right, peace. Like if Cherokee Bill comes in my bar, I just put my hands up, I quit. You got it. And he wouldn't shoot me. Like I'm not a threat to him. He's not gonna kill. If you put your gun down, walk away. He's not gonna kill you. He's
straight up.
I'll be like, just looking at those dead eyes. Dead eyes scare me.
Dead eyes. Yes.
And I want to say though, Dion Cole, I was watching that, and I'm a big fan of a show called Angie Tribeca with Rashida Jones.
I love that show.
It's hilarious. Jeter Burns. I mean, I think she's hilarious, Rashida Jones, in that show.
Yes.
And so Dion Cole was in that Angie Tribeca. He's hilarious. Yes. He has the dog partner.
Yes,
and you know what's interesting? When he showed up on this movie, I was watching I was watching a roundtable discussion about this movie, and he showed up. Everybody, hey guys, what's going on? Joking, and he said he just like, what's going on? Hey. And he said he looked Jonathan Majors in the eye, and Jonathan Majors just dead-eyed him. And everyone on the crew was just into it, practicing guns, like getting into it. He's like, okay. He's like, I'm not. He's like, I gotta change everything about me, because this was his first dramatic role. And his mom, you know what stinks? His mom passed away before this movie was finished. But during the time he was talking, he goes, my mom really wanted to see this movie. Like his mom was crazy excited for it. But I just loved his story about, I came on set all jokey, but I saw everybody, how they were all on their game. So I realized, I need to step up. I can't be this jokey comedian. I gotta act. Like, I gotta not, he's like, I gotta not act. I guess he was trying to like act like, hey, what you doing? Hey, but then you watch Jonathan Majors, who I like. He's not afraid to cry on screen. That's a hero I like. He's a hero who cries on screen.
Such a good actor, bro. Such a good actor.
But he watched everybody, and he said he had to step up his game. But it's really cool that he stepped up his game. And I thought he was so good in this movie. And once I was able to get over the fact that there was the dude from the Old Spice commercials and Angie Tribeca, I'm like, that's some cool casting in there. That's some really neat casting, and that made me happy. So.
And ladies and gentlemen, in case you were not clear, Angie Tribeca, if you love The Naked Gun, Angie Tribeca is The Naked Gun 2.0. Basically the modern version of The Naked Gun. It's brilliant.
Oh, man.
Brilliant.
It makes me so happy. And then her cop boyfriend guy, he's really funny. Sometimes I see him in movies and he's just not utilized well. I'm like, this dude's funny. Like, let this dude be funny. But no, it's cool. Like I thought that was really cool casting with Dion Cole, and I love how he blew up too. Like, dude just gets exploded.
Goodbye, old friend. Bong. He went out. He went out, man. Yeah, he definitely did.
But yeah, I mean, it's just part of that final gunfight. I think it has some good twists and turns. I like how Cherokee Bill takes out Pickett, just shoots him in the back. Like, that's how you live, dude. That's how you live. That's how you live. Just
the great irony too. Pickett talking about that lucky coin, and the lucky coin is Chekhov's lucky coin, because the lucky coin actually did catch the bullet. What are the odds? Bang! Oh, everybody, when that happens, he sees the lucky coin. Well, I'll be. Oh, he caught it anyway. Chekhov's lucky coin.
And then Cuffy's face, where she just. Oh man! Oh, I do want to say something real quick about Dion Cole and his character Wiley. Wiley hits hard because
he's such a good character.
But he busted open Buck's face with one punch.
Yeah, he did.
He one punch, he bloodied that out, and then he was looking like a pretty good boxer, and then Idris goes, screw this, like he cheats and hits him with the gun.
Yeah. Dude, the gun butting, not a good thing.
No,
not a good thing.
That was cheap, man. But that's the thing. Like, these guys don't care. They don't want to die. They don't want to get hit. They're just gonna shoot you. They don't. Which was kind of interesting at the end. A little interesting that Trudy and Mary ended up having that brawl, because you have everyone shooting each other. Then the two of them are just in like a fabric shop with a lot of blue, yellow, red, black, and green
colors. That's right.
And the cleanest the cleanest stable shop hay and I've ever seen in my life. I mean, they laid that down minutes before that scene happened. But I was like, this is a really clean place here. But the whole movie's clean, so you can't really pick on it. But
that's right.
You know,
go ahead.
No, you got it.
I was going to say, and Wiley Esco, Deputy U.S. Marshal, was he? He was a real guy too.
Oh, nice.
Wiley Esco was a real guy. He was a real guy out there. Not much is known about his life. He's one of the few black U.S. Marshals of the Old West during the 19th century.
Wow.
Yeah, so he was also a real dude.
So black and Creek American Indian descent.
Yes, sir.
I love the cast though in this. Like I think the director definitely thought. I mean, listen, you got to bring in Idris Elba as the heavy, but I do like you know casting Jonathan Majors. You know, so Samuel cast Jonathan Majors because of an interview he saw of his from White Rick and how he got into the character. So and then to his luck, he went and watched The Last Black Man in San Francisco. After that, and went, oh, okay, cool, I made the right decision.
Yeah.
But I gotta say, I know that Majors was acting before The Last Man in San Francisco. The Last Black Man in San Francisco.
There you go.
But watching it, I was like, this dude's something special. It's I don't know if I get that sometimes, and I think we've talked about this before. But I saw Jonathan Majors, and you know, you get that feeling sometimes. Like this, I was like, this dude's gonna pop. Like this guy's gonna be big.
Charisma, screen presence. He single-handedly turns the Marvel TV shows from ending with CGI star battle to, hi, I'm Kang.
Monologue.
Let's talk for 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And the whole time you're just, what? Mind blown. That was awesome. It was so low key. And it was just, oof. There's no words. That and Lovecraft Country. Why are we not getting a season 2 of that?
Yeah, that's great.
Spectacular show.
Because I think that would have been anthology type show, and maybe that thought it was too expensive. Like, but that's a weird thing because that show was really good.
Ha!
But like they've been doing Westworld for 4 seasons, and I don't.
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Westworld season 3 sucked. I'll say it. It's just, what is happening here? Too expensive? Come on.
Yeah, I would say Westworld probably costs double what that does. But I mean, that was an interesting decision. And one cool thing about Jonathan Majors is that I know some people who worked on Loki, and so I'm not gonna say any names, but they said that he flew in really late the night before, went to his costume fitting because he hadn't done it yet, got like a couple hours of sleep, showed up on set, totally cool, totally professional, knocked it all out, and then was just done. So yeah, the dude showed up and just knocked that out. So you know, I think it speaks something towards his professionalism and how the guy can hit on screen. So it's
so good.
But I mean, the whole cast, man, like Zazie Beetz, like the first time I saw her, I'm like, she's cool. Like, yeah. You know, RJ Seiler, I saw him meet in her on The Dying Girl. I'm like, I like this kid. So
yes, sir. James Beckworth, that's who Seiler played. James Beckworth. Mm-hmm. He was an outdoorsman, an explorer, a fur trader, a mountaineer. The Sierra Nevada Mountains Beckworth Pass is named for him. How about awesome. That? Yeah. How about that? And he wrote about his adventures in an autobiography called The Life and Adventures of James P. Beckworth. Ding! 1856.
You know, I love that too. It's not a book called Looking Up. Or I Did It My Way, or Life on the Pass.
No, it's just this is my life.
Yeah.
That's it. My life and adventures. Deal with it.
This is my autobiography. Get over yourself.
My
and also,
middle initial.
Listen, seeing Damon Wayans Jr. pop up in this too.
Little quick moment, but definitely had some dope exposition to pass along.
Yeah.
Did it well.
Listen, when you need, as a director, the one thing I've really learned is when you need exposition dropped, you hire the actor. You don't want to hire Joe Blow. You want to hire, Damon Wayans Jr.'s been acting forever. I mean, he was
for a long time.
Yeah, Happy Endings, like he can drop dialogue like it's nothing. So just have him come in, drop some exposition, get out. You're good. You're good to go. It's like Deep Blue Sea.
This is it. And the reason why in the beginning you asked who the MVP was, and I said Michael Beach. There is a segment of us all who grew up, our generation. We grew up, we watched Soul Food and we watched Waiting to Exhale. And
Yes,
when
Wait
you
to
see Michael Beach pop up, you realize, uh-oh, he's a bad guy.
Yep.
This was actually a hint to all the brothers and sisters watching this movie that actually his daddy was not
husband.
a cool dude. He was not a cool dude because he didn't make a career out of playing those roles. You know what I'm saying? But Waiting to Exhale and Soul Food popped up when you're in. They say that whatever music you're into during high school and university, that's going to be your genre for life. That's going to be your genre for life. Michael Beach just happened to be, he's the guy who's going to cheat on his wife in Waiting to Exhale and the piece of crap in Soul Food.
Mm-hmm.
Stuck with him forever. For God's sake, he's a bad guy in Aquaman. He played police in other movies. He was the very good teacher in Lean On Me who just wanted to deal with the kids, Mr. Clark. But you're making it really hard for us, Mr. Clark. What the hell is there? He was such a good teacher. But spider sense tingling when he's in the beginning of this movie because he sits there with his family and they're about to pray. And in the background, you hear, everyone falls in love sometime. Shoot, wait to exhale. And so he is a bad guy. And he turned out to be the baddest bad guy.
I wish that his wife would have had her sister there, and during the prayer, he's side-eyeing her. You know what I'm talking? And then she's looking back at him, and he's just still being shifty, and he's still being the cheating husband. Is that
Dude, he absolutely, this is Waiting to Exhale, 1800s.
Yeah.
Dun, dun. That's exactly what it is. He left Idris and his moms after beating the life out of them multiple times to become Jesus man in another town. No, I don't abide that. I don't abide that at all, sir. I don't abide.
What do you think about the original cast? Cynthia Erivo, Wesley Snipes, and Sterling K. Brown. What did you think about them? They were in the movie, but then it got like delayed, and then they couldn't be in it anymore.
Oh wow, that would have been great because Cynthia, look, man, that show, that HBO show, where the demon was like jumping from person to person. And she's in that, and she's playing the kind of something's wrong with her. Oh man, she was great in that. And of course, Wesley Snipes. I pay money to have Wesley Snipes read the package of pancake ingredients. Wesley Snipes has been my man 50 grand forever. And apparently he was also in a Western. It went straight to DVD.
Gallows Walkers.
Yeah, zombie. But that's when they were trying to get my man for taxes, and I don't appreciate that, man. Look, let me not go on a rant defending Wesley Snipes against the U.S. government. I'm not going to do that because this is a happy thing, okay? The harder they fall, celebrate it.
And also to Cynthia in 2018, she had Bad Times at the El Royale, which I love that movie. And then
she's amazing. And
then also Widows. There's a scene in Widows where she's running, and I was like, she's a runner. And then I immediately typed it in when we got out. I went because I saw it in the theater. I typed it in, and she runs marathons. I'm like, I knew it. Sometimes I was watching the OA, and the star of that was running. I'm like, she's a runner. I typed it in. She's a runner. You can always tell the runners.
Of course she is.
Like I think she goes and runs, and then she ran a marathon, then went and did a show on Broadway. Come on now, you need to stop.
It makes sense. She was in the show that I was describing terribly was The Outsider.
The Outsider?
Yeah. The Stephen King psychological thriller horror drama. It's called The Outsider. Yeah.
You made it sound like
dude,
Fallen.
The Jason Bateman, he's a little league coach, good guy. Oh, by the way, you're under arrest for the murder of a small child. And the whole time he's staring into CCTV cameras all over town and stuff. So it was like clearly him, except it wasn't him because they have him on video doing a presentation in a whole other town. And then the series unfolds like, how is this possible? 8 episodes, HBO. Really, really good series, bro. It's called The Outsider.
Oh yeah, isn't my guy Ben Mendelsohn in it?
Ben Mendelsohn is in it, man,
My
doing
guy.
his American accent, doing his American accent.
Is it meaty?
Doesn't well. I don't understand what's going on out here, but I'm also sad. Everybody's sad. Everybody's sad, bro.
At least it's not Rafe Spalls from Fallen Kingdoms.
No.
American accent. I almost fell out of my seat. Sorry.
So if Cynthia was in this, oh yeah, she would have acquitted herself because she's an impossibly good actress.
Now, I guess the one idea though that keeps the movie happening, you got to have that kind of the damsel in distress and lay all the chess pieces down. But when Stagecoach Mary's like, hey, let me go into town, they'll deal with me. It's like no.
No, they won't. Come on. Well, to their credit, Idris Elba.
You're sounding like me tonight.
during her proposal, he openly scoffs at her, and like clearly, no, we're not falling for this, not at all. And then she also catches the gun butt, except it's a gun butt of a shotgun or a rifle. So there's a lot of gun butting here, And I think that there should be a lot more concussion protocols in the Wild Wild West, Jim West, than there are.
Desperado, Rough Rider. You don't want none of this. 6 gun weighing a ton of this. Listen, I got a concussion from a basketball one time. So I mean, I got hit right in the temple.
Yeah.
And so you're gonna get it from a gun butt.
Yeah. These people are severely concussed and just walking around surrounded by human feces and waste.
Is that why during the split screen scene? Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, go ahead.
The split screen scene when everyone's looking worried, but she's the one who's giving no reaction because she's just like
she's not there, bro. Yeah, she's not there. She is not there. Not at all. She is not there.
I guess based on the concussions I've had, she's a beast. I'd be still laying in a dark room with my eyes closed.
You spend all your time trying to dodge poop and lungers. You're going to be of hardy stock.
Oh.
It is.
I got a fun quote for you from Samuel where he says, I love Westerns. I don't get them enough. So I really wanted to tell a story where I can use the camera to do stuff where they couldn't do when John Ford was making Westerns, that they couldn't do when John Huston was operating in Alive. I really wanted to utilize drones and show a train robbery. I love bank robberies, train robberies, jailbreaks, but I wanted to show a jailbreak and the train robbery in the same scene and tell that story utilizing split screen. I want to do all these things with my debut feature, and that's what I got to do. So, I mean, listen, Netflix, you know what I like? I like that Netflix gave him the money to make this. They gave him big money for a first time. I mean, he had a short before this, but I mean, that I've heard is really good. One of my students in my class told me about it. He said it's a really great short. But
yes,
they gave him big money to make this movie, and I don't think he disappointed. Like, I think he made a good film, brought together a great cast, and I think it shows. The other day, someone was asking for director recommendations, new directors who we should watch. It was Joe B. If you go to Ultimate Film Club, you can go check him out on Instagram. He was a guest on this show, but I recommended Samuel because this was his first movie, man. Like, this is cool. This is and like, I think he's just gonna go out and make movies he loves. It's gonna be interesting though because he had this movie on his mind for so long. So it's going to be interesting to see what he does with the second feature, because if you think about first seasons of TV show, they're normally pretty great. But then you get to that second season, like, so you plan a first season for 5 years, and then they're like, give me 18 episodes in 6 months. You're like, I'm dead. So it'll be interesting to see what he does with this second feature, but I think he's one to watch for sure. And so I made sure to respond to that because I like his voice. I like his style.
100%. You're 100% accurate. And the short you're talking about is called They Die by Dawn. It's streaming on Tidal, and it features Rosario Dawson, Bokeem Woodbine, Isaiah Washington, Giancarlo Esposito, Nate Parker, Erykah Badu, Rosario Dawson, Harry Lennox, Idris Elba, Jesse Williams, and last but not least, rest in peace, Michael Kenneth Williams, Matt Love,
gigantic cast,
David Banner, Roger Guinevere Smith. We got some monsters in this movie. It's a 50-minute short, and it's basically like the test run for the movie that we got, The Harder They Fall. So definitely, it's on Tidal exclusively, I believe. You got these morons on IMDb that gave it 2 stars, and I'm just reading the cast list, and I'm like, whatever. There's no way this movie can be bad. There's no way.
I tell my students too to follow guys like Samuel, because he made a short. Like he got his feature. Like that's what you do. You make your music videos, right? This guy's a musician too. I have a lot of students who also do a lot of recording. So I just tell them, like, shoot a music video and then shoot a commercial and then edit your music video down to 15 seconds for a sizzle reel. Write a short. Make that short. Get money for it. I have a friend, Zach Beckler, who was on the show several times. He made a trailer, and then based off that trailer, he got 15 grand to make a movie. He made that movie, won a ton of awards. Now he's making even big. Whoa, we're lost tonight, Norbert. Bigger budget film. So yeah, I mean, this is a guy who worked his way up. He's been hustling for 15 years. It's been like in his brain. But it's cool. Like, as soon as he said he wants those Kadir Nelson look, you type that in, you're like, oh wow, this is it. And he wanted to make a clean looking, sharp, crisp, digital experience. He didn't want to make Roll in the Mud, Swearinger, Deadwood.
It's a beautiful movie. Agreed. 100%. It's a beautiful movie, and it's well made. It's well done, and the real thing about it is, again, these people existed. This is just, we mash these people together. These people existed, bro. That's it. Okay? There's no white oppressor. We're not trying to save the princess. We're not doing slavery. It's not just suffering porn for 2 hours.
Leo's not laying in a puddle. Jonathan Majors isn't laying in a puddle for 2 hours.
No. Mm-mm. There's not even poop in this one horse town.
Yeah, you never see poop. No poop.
There's no poop.
He wanted it to be clean looking. He wanted to make it like that. I mean,
mission completed.
At first I was kind of like, this is a really clean looking town, but then you get the whole aesthetic. See, for me, I love it when okay, this is how I like style and ideas in films. If there's a movie, so there's a movie that came out last year, I believe its name was Kate, with oh gosh, man, she's really good. She's been in a ton of horror. Mary Elizabeth Winstead. It's half sort of regular movie, and then it's half stylish, and the two never blend. I think if you're gonna make a movie like this, it has to be all in, and this movie's all in. Like, this isn't half Unforgiven, half Silverado. This is all The Harder They Fall. And so once I got into that visual dynamic and I realized that it stuck the entire time, I embraced it a lot more, because it has a clear stylistic choice and vision to do. And I love that about it. It went in with an idea and it accomplished that idea.
Exactly. So it's a movie about revenge. It's a Western. Most of the people in it are black. We don't always have to be suffering in the late 19th century, man. We did other stuff. And let's see more stories like this. Hollywood, congratulations. Here's an example of how to get it done. Mm-hmm. Jesus Christ. Give the man more money. Let's go. Let's get another. The sequel is clearly set up. Let's go. King. Let's see another one.
And critics really responded. The African American film critics gave it best film. The Black Reel Awards gave it Outstanding Director, Best Ensemble. It actually won. It won at the Gotham Awards for Ensemble. Hollywood Critics Association Best Action Film. The NAACP Image Awards won Outstanding Motion Picture. National Board of Review Awards, it had the best cast. Women's Film Circle, they gave it to Danielle Deadwyler, who won. So, I mean, a lot of people embrace this movie. This is cool. Like, let's use this as
It's a really good movie.
But my problem is, though, let's use this as like a stepping stone, not just like, hey, we made one. We're good for a while. I mean, let's
make more quickly.
And, no executives are going to listen to this, but I do think there is a danger sometimes. Like, hey, we made one.
You're not wrong.
Yeah,
You're absolutely not wrong, bro.
So yeah,
let me ask you a quick question though. Ghastly Gertrude or Treacherous Trudy? What's the best nickname?
Treacherous Trudy.
Treacherous Trudy, right? Because treacherous.
Yeah, I love that name.
It's treacherous.
Treacherous
Trudy. So I would be. The first thing that comes to mind is Nasty Norbert, but Nas did that. Nasty Nas.
Nasty. Yeah, that's
Nasty
good though.
Nas.
That way the music comes on every time you come to a room.
Notorious N.O.R.B.
Oh,
But Biggie did that. Rest
yeah.
in peace, Chris.
Naughty.
Naughty Norbert. But then you think naughty by nature.
Yeah. Nickelback.
Oh, podcast over. I'm going home.
Wait, let's okay,
Back north.
we could do it. Nightmare.
Nightmare Norb. Okay. What about Mercurial Mark?
Yes. Make it because that's really tough to say. Where's Mercurial Mark at? Like it's not like it's not Mad Mark. It's not like
Madman Mark.
Yeah, Madman Mark. Like I want Mercurial. The Mercurial Madman Melancholy Mark.
Melancholy, right. Melancholy it comes to Melancholy Mark.
Ooh, I want Melancholy. That way I can just be like Stanfield the whole entire time, just look depressed and shoot people in the back. I hated doing that. I hated doing that, but it's my life for yours.
Because I'm so mercurial and yet melancholy.
Wait, which one are you? Instead of like, it's like
I'm so blue.
The music is not uplifting when I come in the scene. Like it's just
not at all.
It would just kind of what would be my theme like?
The Charlie Brown Christmas music. Christmas is here. Oh, here comes Mercurial Melancholy Mark. Yeah.
I'm just dragging my shotgun on the ground.
Like, whatever.
Yeah. People try. I know I hate killing people, but it's better you than me.
Walk in the bar. What do you have? I don't know. Whatever crap whiskey. Shot a guy. Whatever.
Oh, give me 3 because I just killed a guy.
So mercurial, so melancholy, bro. Meanwhile, here comes treacherous Trudy. She's got a bass guitar and a bad attitude.
And people are like, hey man, like you're bringing the vibe down.
You're bringing it down, bro. You're bringing it down. Where is Notorious N.O.R.B.? No. He is. I'm sorry. You see, this is what happens, man.
Oh, I'm leaving. N.O.R.B. is here. I gotta go.
No. Notorious, he is.
He always tries to get me on the dance floor.
Always dance back. That's how we solve our problems through the art of dance.
We gotta get out of here, but real quick, let's do a Delroy Lindo draft.
Oh, fair enough.
Because he's a beast and he has a wonderful catalog of films. So I'll let you have first pick.
Diverse? He's British? What?
He's not British.
Delroy George Lindo. Delroy, super Jamaican name. So that makes sense to me. Lewisham, London.
Oh, wow.
Age 69. Wow, dude. My mind has officially been blown.
I don't believe it.
I can't.
It's like when I learned Juno Temple was British.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no.
Yeah. No way.
Not a chance. All right, you get first pick.
Okay. I'm going to let you have Congo because I know you want that.
Don't take
down
my
my sense of dick. You know, not for nothing. I was just watching Congo the other day. Amy, bad gorilla. That movie's so bad, but I love it. I'm so conflicted, bro.
Listen, when Ernie Hudson, who's amazing in that movie, and Laura Linney are shooting RPGs out of the sky with one-shot flares, I've never been happier.
Can't hate that movie. You can't, and that's why I'm giving Congo to you. Because I love you, and I know you want Congo as soon as you said Delroy Lindo. So I am going with Clockers.
I wrote down Clockers.
Yeah.
That was going to be my first pick.
I know you wanted Congo, so you can't have both.
Oh, man, you know what's funny, though? I'm going to take Clockers first.
Can't have you can't have both.
Whenever I write things down, people always take them. But no, that's a great number one pick, because that was my number one pick.
Yeah. You did. Yo. When at 95, I was still wet behind the ears, naive Norbert. And I thought Rodney was not a great guy, but he wasn't a jerk. And then suddenly he's like, I will punch you in your ulcerated stomach.
Oh, give me something to drink.
That was hardcore. So I'm going Clockers.
Oh, man, that's a good movie right there. All right. I'll take Blood In, Blood Out. First pick. Bonafide.
Okay. I am going The Core.
Oh!
Because he's not Edward Brazelton. Yes. Okay, and the only way to save the Earth is to go to the Earth's core and nuke it, because nuclear weapons are the only thing that solves all problems.
So stupid, but it's so great. Yeah, Stanley Tucci in that movie. Oh my gosh.
Stanley Tucci loving nicotine in that movie, bro.
All right, who you got next?
Yeah. So yeah, like I said, I got Clockers and I got the Core.
Oh, I'm taking Congo then. I'll take Congo.
Okay. And then I got Ransom. Just pay this bastard and get it over with. Okay. Pay this bastard. 90% of the time you pay this bastard and it's over. Okay. Just pay him and we'll get your son back. Okay. Just pay him. You took the bribe, didn't you? You took that bribe, didn't you? He's not even in the movie long, but you can't forget him in Ransom. You can't.
Oh man. All right, I'm gonna go Defy Bloods because he's a beast in that. But Ransom, perfect.
I know that you were going to take that one. I know you. So I wasn't going to take what I know you want.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, man. You're my boy, Blue. Then we're going Crooklyn.
Oh yeah.
Which, Clockers was, I believe, produced by Spike Lee. No, directed by Spike Lee. So yeah, I'm taking 2 Spike Lee joints. Clockers and Crooklyn.
So this is a stupid pick, and Crooklyn's a great pick, by the way, but I gotta do A Life Less Ordinary because I just remember watching it in '97 because you had Danny Boyle's name attached to it, but it was him and Holly Hunter running around.
Nice.
And I'm a big Holly Hunter fan, so like him and Holly Hunter were going around chasing him. Like he had a big role in that movie. So I'm gonna go A Life Less Ordinary.
Holly Hunter is just a wonderful human being. Wonderful human being.
All right, who you got for your final pick?
And then we're going The One. Because he was just chasing the hell out of Jet Li, bro.
Yes.
You used to be a good cop. What are you doing? Huh? Come on, man. You got to stop this. Every time he plays the police, come on. Look, please, let's make a deal. Okay? We're going to, look, just do it. Okay? Stop. He's just really trying to convince Jet Li's character to be a good dude.
So I'm going to take Romeo Must Die then.
Very eclectic list, man. Eclectic list.
You got Aaliyah in there. You got Delroy Lindo, Jet Li.
Yeah. And if at first you don't succeed, don't you know you got to try again? Been a long time. I'm sorry.
All right, you ready to do a full Wild Wild West song sing through?
What the hell? Let's go.
Okay, wait. So I think I found I totally butchered the words. It's Jim West, Desperado, Rough Rider. No, you don't want nada. None of this. 6 gun. 6 gun in this. Brother running this. Buffalo Soldier. Looks like I told you. Wait.
Yeah, I was hitting you with the beatbox.
Oh man, you got me. I totally butchered the lyrics for the entire time.
And the damsel that's in distress, be out of the dress when she meet Jim West.
Have you ever thought about what that means though? So she's captured, and she's in distress, probably lying in poop.
Yeah.
And then he shows up, and she's out of that dress.
Because Jim West, you just have to, like my man said, you have to make the sex. You have to make sex with Jim West. You have to make sex.
I do love this line though. Rough neck, so go check the law and abide. Watch your step or flex and get a hole in your side.
Wow. Bars. Hashtag bars. There you go.
Hey,
there you go.
Well, thank you for this episode, man. I had a lot of fun doing this. I like our series that we got going on here of movies you just sent to me one night that we all love. So
yeah,
this has been
what
good.
It is. I don't watch as many movies as you, but when I do, they're bangers.
Well, thank you. Hey, where can people find you?
My name is Norbert Morvan. You can find me on the SoundCloud because I'm in my 40s, so I always put the in front of everything. So Norbert Morvan on SoundCloud and at Eddie Kane, EDDIECAINE on Twitter. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, hey, thank you for joining me.
I love you, man. Thank you.
Ditto. Love you too. I can't Swayze it. I tried to Swayze, but it just doesn't work. Ditto. All right, so for me, Mark Hoffmeyer, and for Norbert Morvan, this is Movies, Films, and Flicks. We'll see you next week.